Earl, Maize and Julie Webster embrace at mission control following the confirmation that Cassini was no more. NASA Joel Kowski, after 13 years of orbiting the Saturn system and 4.9 billion miles logged, the Cassini mission has ended. The orbiter-turned-atmospheric probe is gone, vaporized on re-entry and now one with the planet. At 4:55 a.m. PDT, as predicted, the team received confirmation of the spacecraft's demise when the radar graphs displayed loss of signal, signifying that the high-gain antenna could no longer remain steadily pointed toward Earth. The robotic explorer entered Saturn's atmosphere at 9.4 degrees north, 53 degrees west. The perfection of the probe was reiterated several times throughout the post-plunge briefing, as it was praised for having accomplished exactly what it set out to do. The probe was deemed successful to the very end. "We believe we got every last second of data," Program Manager Earl Maize said with confidence. Infrared composite view of the area where Cassini made its final plunge into Saturn's atmosphere. The image was captured on the planet's night side, revealing the heat from its interior seen in red. By the time the orbiter plummeted into the clouds, this region had rotated into daylight. NASA Caltech Space Science Institute Maize talked about the legacy of the spacecraft, having laid the foundation, both with respect to science and engineering, for the next set of missions. Our mission to Europa will utilize the engineering expertise and techniques as well as the sophisticated instruments developed for Cassini. Earl Maize, Linda Spilker, and Julie Webster celebrate a successful mission. Pauline Ackerlin. There will be much analysis to come of the final data sent to Earth. 8 of Cassini's science instruments were active during atmospheric entry, collecting data on the Saturn's gravity as well as its atmosphere's hydrogen-to-helium ratio. Both parameters are key to studying the ring planet's internal structure. Project scientist Linda Spilker explained that measurements such as the hydrogen-to-helium ratio require the physical presence of the spacecraft. You can infer the ratio, you can model it, but to be there and directly measure and sample, that was absolutely amazing. The spacecraft survived about 30 seconds longer than expected, said Cassini Operations Team Manager Julie Webster JPL. The team of scientists and engineers continues to work on assessing the data they collected during those final moments. "And I'm sure they'll all be very happy," Spilker added gleefully, that Julie was able to get the spacecraft to survive those extra seconds as we plunged on in. Andrew Ingersoll, atmospheric scientist on the imaging team, and Sean Brooks, rings scientist on the UVIS and CIRS instrument teams, watch alongside their team as loss of contact with Cassini is announced. Pauline Ackerlin. But future missions still have much to learn at Saturn. The potential for life in the global ocean of the tiny moon Enceladus, as well as the potential for astrobiology in the oceans of Titan, intrigue scientists and excite the public. Spilker noted other unsolved mysteries, too, including the source of methane in Titan's atmosphere and the power source for the hexagonal storm that rages at Saturn's pole. Enceladus sets behind Saturn on September 13, 2 days before Cassini's farewell. NASA JPL Caltech Space Science Institute. The last bits of visual data received were both heartfelt and compelling. But it was the sequence of Enceladus setting behind Saturn, taken on September 13, 2 days before Cassini's farewell, that seemed as like a curtain falling at the end of the first act of an ongoing story. Perhaps Earl Maize described the curtain call perfectly: Cassini going out with an empty tank of gas at the very top of its game in a scientifically unexplored environment. Act 2 beckons.